We are wrapping up week 5 of NCAA women's gymnastics competitions and therefore week 5 of the new harsher scoring system. So let's discuss. If you have not been following along, what is going on right now is less an overhaul of the existing scoring system and more a new system for holding judges accountable for the scores that they are giving out. One big rule change is that judges can now no longer submit final scores for the same routine that are more than a tenth of a point apart from each other. So that means that is the end of the 9.95/9.8 split. Another major thing that happens is that NCAA judges are now having their judging decisions reviewed by even judgier judges. Yes, that is correct. After meets, a panel of even judgier judges will watch the same routines that were scored at the meets, score those routines themselves, and then those scores will be compared against the scores given by the original judges. So now that it is almost the end of week 5, we're starting to kind of see some trends on how this is playing out in real life. The hope here is that it would make more diversity in scoring a thing that happens, which has been a problem in college gymnastics for a long time, is that there's intense score bunching, especially in women's college gymnastics, which is out of a perfect 10 system, as opposed to men's college gymnastics, which is currently out of an open-ended system like Elite. So that was the goal. The reality of what we're seeing so far is a lot more along the lines of a 9.975 is just the new 10. Don't get me wrong, we have fixed the overuse of 10s problems. I believe there have only been 3 perfect 10s this season. There might have been 4, I could be miscounting. So we fixed the overuse of 10s problem, which has made it now even more exciting when somebody gets a perfect 10 because it means that they really, truly deserved it. But it's doing nothing to fix the bunching of scores problem because, again, we now have gymnasts who would have been chucked a 10 in the past now being chucked a 9.975. It's a really interesting conundrum because nobody's really sure how to solve it. A lot of people are worried that if the judges were scoring routines as harshly as would be needed to kind of differentiate between good, better, and best, then there would be a lot of 9.6s and 9.7s, and the concern there is that fans wouldn't like that. Now, this is interesting because that leads right back into Livy Dunn's whole argument from last week, which is that the fans don't like it when there aren't enough 10s. It's the same argument, just a different number. What this essentially means is that the state of the discourse around college gymnastics scoring right now is basically split between 2 distinct schools of thought. Number 1 is that fans will hate score bunching more than they hate low scores. And number 2 is that fans will hate low scores more than they hate score bunching. It's kind of difficult to assess with any actual evidence though, because like I said, we have yet to find a solution that eliminates score bunching. So what do you guys think about this? How do you think it's going so far? I personally am a fan of what we're seeing this season with the 10 being rarer. I do think it makes it more special. However, again, it has in essence done nothing to eliminate score bunching. We're now just seeing everybody getting a 9.95 instead of a 9.975 or a 10. What do y'all think? Do you think score bunching is worse or do you think lower scores are worse? Please discuss in the comments. Also, if one of those is worse, how do we fix it? I would love to know.